Welcome to another Walter Football video. I'm Charlie Campbell, Senior Draft Analyst. Before we get rolling, I suggest you click into the settings, speed it up to 1.25 or 1.5. All right, let's get into this week's topic. It's LSU cornerback Derek Stingley. Not a lot of scouts have started working hard on 2022 guys. Everyone in the NFL with NFL teams is pretty much on vacation right now until the start of training camp. But aside from the advanced scouts, I did speak with a scout who has already started doing some work on some guys, including Derek Stingley from LSU, and he also had, obviously knows the other recent high cornerback prospects well. So I asked him to compare how Stingley compares to those guys, say Jeff Okudah, C.J. Henderson, J.C. Horn. And so he had some interesting things to say. You can read the whole article below and the links below in the hot press, but I'll read you his quote here. He said, "Well, obviously it's super early. We'll see how Stingley plays this year. Perhaps everything changes, but right now I think he's a more dynamic cover guy than Okudah. Seems a little more talented than C.J. Henderson. Athletically, Stingley and Henderson are similar, but I feel like I trust Stingley more than C.J. They both had some plays where you're like, how did you give that up? But Stingley has less plays where he looks soft or disinterested. If I had to rate them right now, I would put J.C. Horn first, Stingley second, C.J. Henderson third, and Okudah fourth." So, that's really interesting in terms of where they came off the board, with Okudah going third overall, C.J. Henderson going late in the top 10, J.C. Horn went 8th overall. So Stingley's right in there with those guys. Obviously, the 2019 season, he put himself on the map, was just phenomenal as a freshman, the number one corner for LSU on that defense going up against a really tough schedule. He had 6 picks, 15 passes broken up, showed serious cover ability right out of the gate. And then last year he was banged up, wasn't quite as dynamic. The Alabama game, Devontae Smith got to him a little bit, so I think that's kind of what you're hearing with the scout there saying about, wondering how did you give that play up. But generally, I think Stingley, as long as he stays pretty consistent, is on a track record to the top 10. I thought it was kind of noteworthy that he didn't include Alabama cornerback, now Broncos cornerback, Patrick Surtain II. So I followed up, and he had Surtain lower, had him graded lower, more as a back half of the first rounder. And I know other teams that felt that way because there were some limitations with Surtain in terms of just kind of the receivers. You wouldn't want him going up against a shifty speed receiver, say a guy like Tyreek Hill or a Calvin Ridley. So they didn't feel that he was really a true top 10. Some teams just didn't feel that way. Obviously, Denver disagreed. But I think Surtain will be a fine pro corner. I don't think he'll be, elite, the best in the NFL, but I think he'll be a good, solid pro. And obviously, I think Stingley's on that track record as well. It'll be really interesting to see how he does in some of the marquee games this year, see if he kind of bounces back after that struggling game against Alabama last year. So this is really going to be a fun football season to watch because there's a lot of good defensive prospects in this draft class coming up. It's a deep draft class. A lot of guys went back to school. We get, hopefully, everything's a normal year with normal Senior Bowl, combine, pre-draft workouts and everything. So we'll get kind of more of a typical year where there's more avenues to evaluate these players. But we just obviously keep grinding it out. I have updated mock draft this week. Hope everyone had a great 4th. We're going to be rolling out position rankings regularly. I'm going through each position from NFL teams' preseason watch list. It's extensive, but it's really great information, so that's all going up on Walter Football. Walt's got his season previews going. They're just awesome, great reads. You got to check those out. I love reading them each day. Really, best highlight for me of the summer is reading those previews. And if you want to look back at the 2021 recap stuff, I have my draft awards, who I thought had the best draft class, best picks, best trades, who did the worst, why the slide, why undrafted, all right there on Walter Football. And please like the video and share it. Really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Hope everyone had a happy and fun, safe 4th of July, and I'll be back with you soon. Take care.